thing, I guess. I usually get them going like in a rolling start type of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, then we kind of cut off the conversation.
We did cut off the conversation. What the fuck were you talking about?
I don't remember.
Making beats. You're talking about your beat having like.
Yeah, it's haunting me.
Haunting you.
In my dreams.
And then we're talking. Yeah.
In my dreams and in the shower. Like, everywhere.
Dude, the shower actually for me is a really inspirational fucking spot.
Yeah, I don't know why. I remember A-Track actually, he tweeted like, oh, I need a waterproof notebook so that I can write shit down in the shower, you know? And I actually saw it like 2 days before, so I wrote him back and he's like, wow, thank you.
Oh no, dude, I totally get the fucking same thing. It's either I'm taking a shit or in my shower. That's usually the 2 times where I get very inspirational.
You close it to God.
What?
Close it to God.
I'm at my most vulnerable state. Yeah. Lord, inspire me. It's pretty much what it is. Welcome to Apartment 6. We're going to start on that, I guess.
Amazing. It's history in the making.
History in the making. Welcome to Apartment 6. My name's Boih. My name's Navid, a.k.a. Boih. I'm going to get that straight one day.
Government.
Yeah, my government first. Navid. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Sunday night, the 24th. Chilling. Relaxing. It's snowy outside. It's coldish. Winter's not gone yet. So I reach out for the warmth of friends and good company and roti. Delicious fucking roti. Nick.
Yes.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
I got my buddy Nik Brovkin over here. What do you go by? How do you introduce yourself to people? When
That's a very good question. Well,
is it?
No. I just introduced myself as Nick.
Okay.
I don't feel like I can justify introducing myself as anything else for now. You know, sometimes it's like, yeah, okay. If I tweeted somebody before and we had a conversation, I'm like, yeah, I'm Overthebreaks on Twitter.
Yeah.
So even then, like, my name changes all the time.
All the time.
Which is, yeah.
I have to, you know what? I fell into your trap and I started doing that.
I saw that.
And, dude, hijo de pita, come on. I had to change it, but then I'm like, I can't change it again. It's too often. Like, I'm going back to MSN days where we used to change our.
Yeah, but then your name would be like a whole song title. Or a song
fucking lyric. You have 2 fucking bars worth of lyrics as your name on MSN.
Yeah. It didn't have a character limit, so.
It was ridiculous. It was fucking abusive. They would have any character allowed. People would have drawings at some point. That's pretty much when I disconnected from MSN, when people would have like big ass emoticons as names.
Yeah. And nudges. That shit was bad for your health.
That helped kill MSN.
Oh yeah?
Nudges helped kill MSN in my book.
Nudges killed MSN.
But I'm throwing that one out. Did you keep using MSN after nudges?
No, well, yes. Because I disabled nudges.
Okay, see?
It was in the preferences, and it was like, as soon as that appeared, I was like, what the? I went into the preferences, disabled it, and then kind of forgot about it. And then when you try to nudge me, it's like, oh, this user does not support nudges. Like, all right. But then, I think it was a general progression of like, and then you had High Five and MySpace.
How long did you use High Five for? Did you actually use High Five?
I guess I have because I know about it. But I don't know for how long.
That's what I'm saying. How much of it did you use? Because I know I logged in a couple times.
It had a cool feature. It had that feature where it's like you had the 2 people and you had like the one person that connects the 2.
Right.
Or 2 people or 3. I think you had up to 3 levels of
right.
Of
like
connection
degrees
to
of
someone.
separation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I thought that was cool. Because
Well,
I always think that degrees of separation are...
That's how I felt Facebook was at the beginning until we started having like hundreds and hundreds of friends, and then those degrees of separation don't mean shit anymore because everybody's a mutual friend somehow.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, you really have to start going through it to like really figure it out, whereas High Five used to.
But then, no, I guess it still gives me an idea of like...
It does, but...
It's like some people and I have like... Well, used to have like 200 friends in common. And I see what kind of friends they are, so I know what
where this person comes
coming from. Yeah. but that's about it.
I've been getting a lot of random ads lately. Very random ones.
Yeah.
The ones that make me suspicious. I'm like, I don't want to add you, but I still do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like my shit's gonna get hacked really soon for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We start opening.
I don't know.
I guess
I feel like my shit's gonna get hacked because I don't add anybody.
Really?
Yeah. I got like a bunch of requests, and I decided that I'm only gonna add people that I actually had a conversation with in real life.
Okay.
And those people, I have no idea who they are.
I still feel awkward adding somebody after one conversation with them.
Yeah, but it used to be the thing. Like, I remember in the heyday of, like the golden era of Facebook is
everything goes by so fast. We're already thinking about the golden
think
era
about it,
of
like
Facebook.
2006.
Right.
That's when I started using Facebook, I think, and I was in university, and you would go out. Like, everybody was getting to know everybody.
Yeah.
And also Facebook was starting at the same time, so you'd go out, you'd meet new people, and you would always, like, because we used to drink a lot, engineering, you know, so, like, come back home, like, you're hungover the next day, and you didn't have, like, smartphones yet.
Yeah, to add the person right away.
Yeah, so you would log in, like, the next day when you, like, woke up, got sufficiently hungover enough to, like, be able to face the screen, and you see, like, okay, 7 friend requests, and then, like, 37 photo tags, and you're just like, okay, let me sort this out. And you're like, okay, I did not remember this. I did not remember this. I don't know who this person is. And that was like, to me, that was fun because you were like expecting that after every time you went out. Like, it was like a common thing. Right now, not anymore.
But at the same time, I liked it coming out back then. Today, I don't want that much shit out.
Exactly.
There's a big difference in the reach that it has now. Because back then, like in 2006, 2007, something would come out on Facebook. You didn't give a shit. Because the people that were going to see it are the people that you would have wanted them to see it anyways.
But
and now at this point, it's like, fuck, I don't want anybody seeing this shit. Because not everybody's going to see it.
Exactly.
So you kind of avoid that now. It's rough. It's such a weird fucking... We don't have enough time to actually get used to this.
Yeah.
For
Facebook was cool when everybody had to have the real name.
Did they... Yeah. Yeah.
They still
require it. If you have it, if you have your real name
so
at some
people,
point,
it's like, oh my, like I don't know. I don't want to sound bad. I don't have any examples in my head, but it's like somebody whose last name is like, don't add me if you don't know me in one word. It's like, that's probably not your real name.
Yeah, probably not. Well, look, you know what, dude? I didn't like you too. You have Nik. Well, yeah. I'm not gonna say it. You know?
It's a secret.
I mean, if anybody's listening to this and they follow through on the Apartment 6 page at some point on Facebook,
it's too late already.
It's a bit too late. I think your name is already in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, they could just go through Overthebreaks, which is your Facebook fan page, right?
Yeah.
They go to Overthebreaks and they could still add you. I mean, hey, the thing is, actually, you know what? Dude, something really weird happened the other day where somebody subscribed to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck's going on?
Well, you can subscribe to people.
Here's what I realized. I'm not addable to people that are outside of my circle.
Yeah.
So they subscribe to me, and then I could go to that and then add them.
Right.
Which is a pretty cool thing, but it felt good having a subscriber. Until I realized what it meant. It was his way of adding me. So nobody cared. Nobody gave a shit. I found out because like, there was a girl from New York that I met the other day, and she's like, hey, add me on Facebook. She was logged in on my phone, so I'm like, okay, let me go add myself, and I ended up subscribing to myself. So it was like,
so you're your own subscriber?
Exactly.
It
was personal. It was very very masturbatory. It was very masturbatory. Yeah. Very masturbatory. My way of dealing with my online life. It's. I think I subscribed to myself. Actually, I just saw that before. I'm like, why am I subscribed to myself? I just didn't unsubscribe myself.
I don't know how you would do that.
I don't know. It's like I pop up. Do I pop up? Do you pop up in your own newsfeed?
No.
Maybe that's why I subscribe to myself, to see how it comes off in a newsfeed.
It makes sense. Like I feel like people should. Like a lot of people aren't aware of what is actually being shared. You know?
Yeah.
And if you have any kind of like respectful persona to maintain,
yeah,
then you should know what's going on, like what's being said. And I know you're not supposed to Google yourself, but
Yeah.
some people should.
But see, I'm not. See, it's not like Googling myself, but it's more like for me, it just gives me a vision of what I'm sharing, and sometimes
True.
I realize that I might be sharing too much or liking too often.
Yeah.
The last thing I want is to become like somebody to go and disable my newsfeed in their timeline type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, don't show a newsfeed. I don't want to become that guy. That becomes the
You
don't
would
show
never
newsfeed.
know, though.
I know I would never know. I know, but it's like having a girlfriend that you don't know if she slept with somebody else. Like you never find out, but it's there. It's just there. It's a question you ask yourself. Like, hey, this
Yeah.
person's acting weird with me now. And next thing you know, it's like they blocked you off their newsfeed. Oh no! But seriously, okay, we're going on a tangent here.
Yeah, we're going on a Facebook technical support
Yeah,
technical issue. Yeah.
Fucking immigrants, dude. Welcome. We haven't done this actually yet. You and I sitting 1-on-1 talking.
True.
Welcome to my house, dude.
Thank you.
I invited you because you're an artist mainly. That's how I met you, as an artist, or first got introduced to you. But you're a cool person, so I figured this would be a great opportunity to sit down and.
Social media does wonders.
It does. It does. Well, you say that, but at the same time, we met off social media.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's still like that was the cool part, was that there was that personal connection right off the bat. Whereas there's some people that I've met online that I don't have that with. So the first time I met you, it's like it was actually we spoke, and this is something that Mac you met Mac.
Yeah.
Something that Mac said, and he oh dude, you can put it on the table.
No, this works just fine.
Yeah, if it falls, it would be cool.
All right.
Sorry about that, people. Just moved the table. Got a coaster now. Max said this the other, like not long ago, and he said the fun part about Apartment 6 is that you're bringing it back to just a one-on-one type of thing where you're actually shaking hands and talking to people, and that's my preferred way of meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to name drop, but there's some people that I spoke with online or whatever, and then when I did finally meet them, it's like, okay, cool, now there's an actual something to go off of, rather than just like, oh hey, yeah, I liked your status the other day, you know. It's like I hate
that was me.
Yeah, dude, it's happening often now where I'm meeting people and I'm like, hey, what's up? Yeah, hey, dude, yeah, we spoke the other day on Twitter. I'm Boih_SDK. The moment that I have to introduce myself with an underscore, there's a fucking problem. It's just like, okay, we're starting this really off.
Change it.
I can't change my Twitter handle now.
Yeah, you can.
Can I?
Sure, you can.
The handle?
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
So I didn't have to close my old account? Oh, fuck.
You never have to introduce yourself with an underscore.
No, but still, it's not that. It's just the fact that I'm introducing myself with an at. It's...
Yeah, but it's... I mean, you do need it to make the connection. Otherwise, people don't realize who it is. I love doing that though. Like I love talking to someone who would need to talk to me had they known who I was, but then I don't tell them because I realize that they're not curious enough to find out who I am. So
that's not fair.
It's totally fair. It's like, all right, so the person I look up to the most is Andy Warhol. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he would have done. Like, if somebody doesn't know that he's Andy Warhol, he would totally not tell you. And then kind of just, like, brush you off, and then he walks off 5 minutes later. You're like, oh, shit, that was Andy Warhol. And I was just, like, being full, like, talking to him about, like, some other shit. And then that's kind of what I'm going for. It's like, that person, no, but if that person's not curious enough to know who I am, that means that I don't really care to talk to them. I like curious people, you know. Did
you ever get mistaken for the Epic Mealtime guy?
No. I got Butter Beats from Nomadic Massive.
Okay.
Shoutouts. His name is Nik as well. So it's like we got mistaken
easy
for
confusion, yeah.
Yeah, but we got seriously mistaken a couple of times. Like, hey Nik, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
and that's what shoots you in the foot is because you have the same name. But yeah, I got Macklemore,
Okay.
the thrift shop video
Is he?
guy.
Yeah.
He's what?
Is he as tall?
I don't know. I've never seen him in
Okay.
person. He just, I guess, all white people look the same.
You do. A lot of everybody looks the same, dude. And I'm gonna say this very
True.
honestly.
Well, I mean, our DNA is like 98.5% the same, technically.
Yeah, but I mean, still, different cultures look the same. Also, I'm sure that a lot of people look at me and say, "Fuck, which brown guy is that?"
True.
I'm sure that.
You look Mexican.
Do I look Mexican? Shouts to Arili. Apparently, I look Mexican. I'm really surprised you didn't go with Indian first, and I've said that.
No, it's the mustache. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to shave it soon. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to, just so it regrows
Once
better.
you do,
again,
though, you need that mustache rack.
to put it up on a mustache.
you won't
rack.
have it on you anymore. So it's like, yeah, I usually use this one on weekdays. This one in the evening.
You know how many people actually pulled on it, asking if it was real?
Yeah.
I've had that. I don't know if it's happened to you with your beard, but which you have fantastic fucking facial hair, sir. You have fantastic facial hair. I say that as I'm twirling my mustache. We are two gentlemen with facial hair, and honestly, you have great. I wish I had a beard like yours. I look like Osama instead.
You would, though.
Whereas you pull
Yeah,
off
mine is like,
the
it starts off blonde, then it becomes like mad multicultural. Like
multicultural.
Yeah, it's like orange here in the bottom, and then it's darker in the bottom. But on the side it stays orange. Like there's two circles.
Yeah.
And then it stays blonde.
It's starting to go
the
white
top.
on a couple parts.
So
The piece that I had an expensive mustache. That it's a quality I really like.
keep that.
Really like.
Put that on your CV.
All right, we're going on more tangents now. We're gonna get this conversation back on track, dude. Who are you? What? You're an artist.
Yeah.
What do you do, sir? What
I do design, web design, and art direction.
You have some credits to your name, dude.
Yeah,
You have a couple of credits that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for a while, but like some of it, well, I do work at a 9 to 5, so that's the most where my time goes.
Right.
But I have been working with a lot of Montreal artists that I co-sign.
Yeah.
And I co-sign them because I really feel their music, so you probably have heard of them or seen them, you know.
Yeah.
I lately stopped putting my name in really big on the designs because I kind of let the design live on its own.
Okay.
And then if a person, again, like I'm big on curiosity. If a person needs to know who it is, they're going to have to look for it. And if they really want that style, then they're going to find it.
Yeah.
Because if they just want a designer and they see a design by and they get to that contact info, then it may not be the kind of person that I want to work with.
Okay.
Like, I want the person to put in work to find me. And
To actually look for that type of a specific look.
Yeah, and I kind of credit that to being where I am now is like that kind of like connection that I have with people is that people really wanted to work with me and not anybody else, you know?
Okay.
So, yeah, design. I want to call myself an art director, but I'm not just there yet.
You're not there yet?
Yeah.
What's missing for you to become an art director?
To stop doing design and hire a designer that I could like boss around.
Okay.
That would be art direction. But right now I do. I tend to like my favorite projects are the ones that I get carte blanche, you know, to do whatever I want. And
where's your work available, by the way? Where can people find you?
Overthebreaks.com. I try to be overthebreaks.com all over the internet.
Is it you have overthebreaks.com?
Overthebreaks.com.
Okay, but you also post a lot on Tumblr and
Yeah, overthebreaks.tumblr, overthebreaks on Twitter, facebook.com/overthebreaks.
I'm surprised you have that. I'm surprised nobody else took that.
Yeah, I'm
You were
pretty
just
happy
that
about it.
fast?
Somebody was over the breaks on SoundCloud when I first started. Like I was one of the early adopters thanks to one of my friends, and I didn't get over the breaks back then.
Okay.
It was like a UK garage artist, and then I guess he just stopped making music because garage just kind of is out of date now. So I got over the breaks and ran with it.
You're also a music producer, though.
I make a couple of beats here and
You
there.
make a couple of beats. Fucking modesty is a big trait with Nick. Couple of beats. You have more than a couple on your SoundCloud, dude.
Yeah.
SoundCloud.com/overthebreaks. I think that's how you...
I think, yeah.
Is that how you...
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or just type it in the search bar, I guess. How do you describe your music style?
It's weird for me to describe it. It's like music is my hobby, and it's whatever inspires me at that minute. It's obviously electronic. I have zero musical theory knowledge. I just improvise.
Well, you used a Latin word before to describe a segment of a song.
Oh yeah, I said arpeggio.
Arpeggio.
That's because that's the name of the plugin.
Oh, fuck, okay.
But no, it is the term. It is the term. It's
it?
when you have a melody, like a progression.
Okay.
But I didn't do the arpeggio. Like,
Okay.
I had the program do that.
The program
It's
did
like,
it.
Yeah. It's like, it feels like I'm cheating a little bit, but it's
But it's
electronic
hip-hop.
music.
Is it hip-hop?
I don't want to label it as hip-hop. I have my own reservations for that. I was accepted by the lovely Art Beat family
Okay.
as like a member of the Pew Pew movement. So
Are you
grateful
part
for
of that? You're...
I mean, it's a term that is like is being highly misappropriated lately. So I don't want to claim Pew Pew just because I need to earn my stripes. And then in the meantime, it's like, yeah, I call it electronic. That's pretty much, because it could be, some of it does not sound like hip hop at all, you know.
Yeah.
But it's all made with the laptop, so by definition, you know.
Yeah, it's electronic.
Yeah.
Digital.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
Is
the
it?
type of music though.
I don't know if it's a...
Digi hop.
Digi-hop? Making digi-hop? How have you been making music?
Tough question too, man. I was like the first person to make a beat in high school,
Okay.
and I didn't have any music software back then.
So
I
what
was
did you
doing
use?
it with like a wave editor.
Okay.
So I would take a track, cut out the snares, the hi-hats, the kicks, and then like regroup them, like reprogram them
Really?
as a drum loop, and then add bass, add a sample to it, and that was like how I was making it, like one track, everything one track, and it was fun. Like, it was crazy, the experience of hearing, like, I didn't even have a CD burner back then,
Okay.
so I had an audio out from the computer going into the speakers of a boombox. I recorded it on cassette, and then
That's
I
fucking
recorded
resourceful.
Yeah, I
Really?
recorded it playing like on the A side, and then
recorded-
flipped it and played it on the B side around the same time, so I could just listen to it all day long.
Wow.
Because I knew that I was gonna want to listen to it on repeat. Because the first time I heard, I was on the bus, and I took the tape, I popped it into my cassette player, and I was listening to it, and I'm like, wow, this is music I did. And all of a sudden, like, it felt like it was bigger than something that I saw myself doing. Like, it was not a doodle that I did on a piece of paper, which I could just hold and feel. This is something intangible. Like, the tape was tangible, but like hearing it, like, even though it's the simplest beat ever, like, it was quite an experience, because it was like, oh shit, that sounds a lot bigger than my person, like, than my physical appearance, you know. And since then, like, I kept trying to do it. I kept trying to do it, but, you know, it was never serious. And then I met like more musicians. Actually, the first person that I worked with on a design project, like, he gave me constructive criticism on my beats, and he's like, nah, that's not really good.
Okay.
And it was the first time I actually heard that from anybody. So for me, it was tough, because like nobody ever told me that my beats suck, because everybody's like, wow, you make beats, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so from a from a musician perspective, they weren't that good.
Did you how much did you value their opinion?
A lot, because I stopped for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, but then they started teaching me that group of people started teaching me new software, like actual musical software, and I started again. And then I had another breakthrough, and then I stopped again because I had another disappointment.
Okay.
And that happened maybe 2 or 3 more times. And I would say that I really started making music more consciously or conscientiously.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, like putting...
Depends what you're trying to say, but yeah, conscientiously, yes.
Yeah, like last year.
Okay.
That's when I actually started paying attention to what I'm listening to in a sense of like, how did he get that snare, how did he get that kick to sound like that, and try to emulate that myself. And while you do that, like while you're trying to replicate something, that's when you learn the most. Because like I'm coming from a background that I don't have any musical theory, nor did I know how to use any of the software.
Right.
So I had to learn everything from scratch. And it feels weird to me, like, because I feel good when I do graphic design, but I feel terrible when I make music because I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing at all. Okay. And I see, like, people coming out with new beats every day, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't do that.
But you started from somewhere, even with graphic design, right? I mean, you said
Yeah.
I don't know if it was off air, I guess, that you said it, but you've been drawing, like, since forever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we said it before we...
Was it on the show?
Before we recorded, I think.
Recorded.
Yeah, my grandmother was a painter. Well, she still is a painter, and she would force me and my brother to draw, and I even hated it. At
force
a certain
you?
point. Like, yeah, she was like,
really?
"No, draw it," and then I would start drawing, and you know how kids.
Sorry to cut you off. You're of Russian descent.
Yeah.
I'm guessing grandmother, old school Russian.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like a tough woman.
Not necessarily.
No?
She was more from like the artistic background still, so it's a little bit different. But she was
tough character-wise. I mean,
yeah, she was adamant about my brother and I drawing, and I didn't even like it in the beginning. I remember butting heads with her, like, I don't want to draw anymore. I want to play. And she's like, no, just draw, And she would also, like a kid, when a kid draws. They would draw in the style that they draw, and then they would come to a breakthrough where all of a sudden they realize that the face should be like more elongated than just a circle. So they start drawing all the faces in that new shape. Yeah. And then like I had a breakthrough where I remember it because like I started drawing faces in profile, and I started having somewhat of a nose shape in that profile. And I was thinking it's cool, and then my grandmother came, and she's like, nah, that still doesn't look like a face. So she was trying to give me, like, the theory behind, like, the proportions of the eyes and the nose. So I knew that before anybody else in drawing class when I got to school with that. But...
So we're looking at what, like 4-year-old Nik, or...
Something like maybe 5 or 6, 7. Like, yeah, early on, like, before we had official drawing classes ever in school. When I moved here, I was kind of just doing whatever was required out of school. I was always good at art classes.
Moved here
from Russia.
Okay. How old? How old were you?
I was 10.
You were 10? Okay.
So I was in like
4th grade.
4th. I skipped 4th. Yeah, I went into 5th grade.
Because you have to learn the language and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because here in Montreal, or I'm guessing pretty much everywhere around the world, right? There has to be like an introductory class and getting immigrant kids up to speed.
They need the immigrants to go to French school. Loi 101 says that if you're an immigrant, first generation, you have to go to French school until CEGEP. Then you can choose to go to study English.
I mean, I was born here, but because my parents are immigrants, I wasn't allowed to go into French school, to English school either. I had to go to French school. If one of my parents had gone to English school, then I could have. Yeah. I'm guessing maybe because I'm born here and my potential eventual, if she happens, wife is probably going to be born here too.
No, it's just because...
Would our kid be allowed... No? Our kids still wouldn't be allowed to go to English high school?
No. If you went to
I would have to marry a girl that went to English school for my kid to go to English school after this.
No. English school is fine. You need to have gone to French school to have a choice, I think.
Okay.
So, but if you haven't gone to
Which
French
I have,
school,
yeah.
you have to go to French school.
You went to French school, graduated from French high school and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like me.
Yeah. So, but yeah. And then I wasn't really, like, I was still drawing a lot all the time.
Yeah.
As like my pastime, like every single notebook, desk. Haven't gone into graffiti.
No?
Oddly enough, yeah, I never did any graffiti.
But you do write tag style, or you have a tag style
because I don't have a tag style, but I'm just such a nerd for typography that I study people's writing styles.
Okay.
Like graffiti, West Coast graffiti, South American writing, like.
So your time is fully immersed in arts. Like your free time, is it? Like,
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you do anything else besides arts? Because I mean, you're either concentrating on drawing. You could say it. I think the people who are going to listen to this probably know.
Yeah,
by now.
Yeah, so it's like graphic design, and drinking.
And drinking.
Yeah. Oh, I make music. That's like
drinking.
The thing is like. I actually cut down on drinking a lot lately, but I don't own a TV. I read when I find good books.
Okay.
I have a lot of magazines. I draw a lot. I don't consider drawing and design being the same thing.
Okay.
And doing a different art form is like a relaxation of its own. Like if you do design all the time and you draw,
You want to disconnect.
It gives you back your energy. Creatively as well, music as well does that. But I do feel like I don't like saying it because it feels so futile. But I feel the need to create all the time. Otherwise, I feel kind of like I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. Some of my happiest days or feelings or just the way I feel during a week has to be when I'm most productive creatively.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm excited throughout my day because I know that I'm actually getting something done, and it's.
Well, I feel like that about laundry days.
Really?
Yeah,
I
laundry
hate
days
fucking
is
laundry
like
days.
no, but laundry. You do it because you have to, and then once you got off your ass and did it, it's like, yo, you did something good.
I feel that way about dishes too, though. Yeah.
Dishes is different because dishes you kind of have to do every day if you're not. Well, you have to.
Quote unquote.
I just did dishes today for the first time in a week.
Okay.
So like,
has it been piling up for a week?
Yeah.
Do you rinse them though? At least, like, do you rinse the plates off? Like, it's not just crusted shit.
No. I rinsed them, but I realized that I had a problem when I couldn't find a glass to drink soy milk out of. So I was like, all right, I kind of have to do it. I have like tons of glasses everywhere, and they were all dirty. So I was like, okay.
That's not, for me. It's usually the utensils. When I know I'm out of utensils, it's like, oh fuck.
Oh no, I
skipped out somewhere.
I have like a set of utensils that I got through moving and living with roommates, and they were giving me shit.
Yeah.
So I have way too many forks for one man.
Oh, that's good though.
Yeah.
You live alone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You've lived with roommates before. You prefer living alone? You have any pets or anything?
No, I don't have any pets. I just like, just how like my space. I need my space. It's like, roommates are fun, and I only had like a group of 2 roommates that were amazing, but the rest of the people I've known, were not great at all, actually. So I don't want to, like, I didn't want to, after the 2 really great roommates, I decided that I needed to live on my own because there's no way I could repeat that situation ever again. So I never even tried.
See, I got lucky. I ended up with my roommate is my childhood friend from like the last 20 years. We've been friends, so kind of knew what I was getting myself into. So I got really lucky with that. Actually, next episode, this is episode 5. Next episode is episode 6, which is like the special episode because it's apartment 6, and it's gonna be me and my roommate Rick. We're gonna have a talk and
nice.
Get personal on apartment 6. I don't know. He said, "Dude, I'm gonna ask you questions." I'm like, "Fuck kind of questions are you gonna ask me?" Like, "Oh, we gotta get to know you too." I'm like, "All right, cool. Come ahead, come on board." I mean, it's gonna be a completely different dynamic. I have no idea what the hell we're gonna talk about. We're gonna even talk about. But yeah. Okay. Well, actually, one of the fun parts of talking to you, and before, like, while we're eating, we're just fucking talking about everything, and I'm like, this whole time I'm thinking this is gonna be perfect for the podcast.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm interviewing you, but I had a topic that I had in mind that I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
And we are gonna go back to the interview. It's not an interview; it's just questions about you. It's gonna come throughout the whole process. But there's a question that I had in mind all week, and your perspective is really important for me because I mean, like you said, you immigrated here at 10 years old. You speak you're perfectly fluent in French, right?
Yeah.
You're perfectly fluent in French. You're perfectly fluent in English, and you're fluent in Russian too.
Yeah.
Now, lately, I don't know, like, dude, I saw this on fucking CNN. They were showing it on CNN, the Quebec thing of banning pasta and now going fucking crazy hilarious. And we have listeners, like, all around the world, so I'm going to talk about this, too. I'm really curious, like, I don't know if anybody's going to get back at me, but here in Quebec right now, we have the l'Office de la langue française, which is basically... It's a how do you call them? It's not a company. What the fuck is it? It's a
government office.
It's a government office that runs on protecting the French language, which is the official language of our province of Quebec, which is a province within the country of Canada that is a bilingual country. Yeah. Right? It's considered a bilingual country.
Yeah.
English first, French second.
Basically. Yeah.
Basically. Now. This week, some inspector of l'Office de la langue française went to a restaurant, a supper club. Mind you, it's a supper club. It's people go there to eat supper and then dance to English music all night. To everything is just. It's an amalgamation downtown of a bunch of fucking people of different cultures coming to an Italian themed supper club, and they got fined or whatever for using the word pasta too often. Yeah. And I don't know if you followed through. They went to a steakhouse and they gave a guy like a warning for having WC on the bathroom stall, like that's on the bathroom crazy. Door. And everything at the restaurant is based on France. Like it's a French themed restaurant. Yeah. Everything is in French. And the WC on the door, he was saying, this is what you find. Fuck, is the window open, dude? Yeah. Shit, you mind closing it?
1 second.
Running on it? So, thanks, dude. Yeah, so in France, most of the restaurants have WC written on the bathroom doors. And this guy actually got fined for having that. It's just completely fucking ridiculous.
Well, because it's English.
But it's based off of French restaurant in France. If it's not a problem in France, why the fuck is it a problem here?
Well, it's a different topic, but France does not feel threatened about losing French as their national language, and that's why they allow they say parking instead of stationnement just because that's tradition. I don't know what.
Do you feel like it's justified as somebody who is looking at this from a different perspective? Because you're not a Quebecer that was born here from a French-Canadian background. Yeah. You're coming here as an immigrant. Do you feel like the French is actually at risk?
Well, I see where they're coming from, saying it. I don't know if it's the right way to go about it.
Okay, so do you feel that their feelings are justified? That
well, they're overprotective of it, and also there's a lot of other factors involved, like nationalism and separatism, right? Which goes all of those things go hand in hand in the sense that like if you're moving a certain idea, yeah, they're all components of that one idea. Like usually the people that are adamant about French are also the people that are adamant about separation. Yeah, right. Separation. So
yeah, because for those who don't know, Quebec also wants to separate and become an independent state from Canada, right? independent state or a country? I mean, what would it be?
Country.
It would be a country?
Yeah, a country. It would not be part of Canada.
So, yeah, they also want that. That's a big majority of French Canadians that do want separation. And there's a certain threat right now that they feel. I say they because I don't feel like French is threatened so much. As a matter of fact, I think that it's an unrealistic approach to, I mean, the reality, which is you have a lot of tourism, you have a lot of new immigrants that don't know the language yet.
Yeah.
It can get very confusing going around here in Montreal.
Yeah, but they wanna keep it all French.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of the law.
Yeah.
Like loi 101.
I'm gonna call you out on this. It's a really important text.
Yeah, it's a really important text.
All right, then go ahead and text, and we're gonna continue this conversation once you're done texting. This is rule number 1, people. No cell phones on the show. Close the cell phones. No, it's actually not a problem. It's not a problem. We do try to keep off cell phones though. But no, dude. For example, the metro station, the subway station of Montreal, it's all in French.
Mm-hmm.
How fucking confusing that could get.
For sure. But
Holy
they want you to speak French. I mean,
but if you don't know how to speak it, you just came. See, that's the thing, though. This is my problem: is that tourism is a source of income.
Yeah.
Okay. If these tourists get lost in the city and they ask for directions because they can't figure out their way through it, and then they're being told to go fuck themselves and speak French, when they obviously cannot learn it right away. Isn't this counterproductive for what the city is so famous for? Their festivals and everything. I mean, forget who lives here now. We're talking about money that this country, our government is spending left and right on.
Yeah, but it's still like, I don't know if they work together as far as departments go.
Everybody's
kind of
pulling
got
their way
used
now.
to like, yeah, but I got used to this kind of dynamic.
Yeah.
And I get a kick out of like people not knowing where I'm from.
I do like that. When I go around, like if I go somewhere else, if I go out of the city.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Where are you from?" Don't recognize your accent from anywhere. It's like, yeah.
No, but for me, it's like I knew that people knew that I was an immigrant when I had a heavy accent. And then, so I started working on the way I speak so that people can't really pinpoint it.
Okay.
And I get a kick out of that. And I get a kick out of, like, the presence of all these different cultures. And honestly, like, for now, like, I've learned French because I went to school in French. And I just use it as a tool now. Like, I love reading in French. I love the ability of reading in French.
Yeah.
And for myself, I see the clear value of knowing more.
Absolutely.
You know more when you know more languages. You're exposed to more, like, even things that, like jokes and puns.
Yeah.
You can understand them in English, but you can also understand certain ones in French that you cannot even explain in English later on, you know? That's not even a pun. Like, I'm talking about, like, heavy-duty puns.
Oh,
like,
yeah, a pun. Okay.
Like, in, you know, a movie like Le Dîner des Cons.
Okay.
I would never watch a translation of it.
Which they made Dinner for Schmucks.
Did they?
Yeah. With Steve Carell was in it.
Yeah, it's probably something that I wouldn't watch.
And was it like, I think it was Paul Rudd was in it too?
Possibly. But, I mean, point being, like, you cannot translate the dialogue at all. No. Like, it's certain French expressions, like European French expressions, that I know because I've asked people what they meant.
Like what?
I don't remember offhand, but they were like really intricate, you know? And to me, I would hear them and it would make me laugh, but then watch the movie with my parents and I'm just like, I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah, you can't.
But it's hilarious.
But that's the magic of cultures in general. Just every culture has. I'm sure in Russian you have some expressions that you can't translate to French or English.
Yeah.
Like we have some in Farsi, dude, that are really fucking weird. they're really weird expressions, and I mean it's such a romantic culture history that it has with poets, and I don't know if you know anything about Persian history, but poetry has always been huge, and so the way of speaking is very poetic, but overly dramatic.
Right.
For example, if something is surprising or borderline disgusting or shocking to you, like you don't approve of it, one of the expressions they'll use is khaktu saram, which means dirt on my head. It's this weird, and I know if any Persian is listening to this right now, they will imagine their mother hitting themselves on the head with both hands, like, and that's basically the movement that they'll do when they say khaktu saram, which means like dirt on my head, and it's like almost like you shamed me. I'm putting dirt on my head, which doesn't even fucking make any sense. And or if something is sweet to you, and you're like, you see a little baby, like I've heard this so many times from my mom. It's weird. They see a little baby and it's just so adorable to them, and they say "Jigar to mi khoram," and it's like, I'm gonna eat your liver. It's the creepiest fucking thing. It's the creepiest, and it's obviously not meant that way. Obviously.
Well, I think that's actually, it has its parallels in English. Like, there's a bunch of people that are like, "Oh, it's so cute, I want to bite his cheeks or whatever," and I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
You know, like, it doesn't sound appealing at all.
Yeah. I've heard people say they wanted to punch a baby for how cute it was.
I've never heard that.
I've heard that. I've heard it from women, actually. Actually, no, not punch babies. No, sorry, punch a dog for how cute they were. That's a big difference. But I confuse babies with dogs a lot. And they're very parallel to me.
No, that's weird.
No, they've said, I've heard it. I want to punch this dog in the face for how cute it is. Never made sense to me. I never wanted to hit anything for how cute it was. But yeah, biting. I mean, it's the equivalent of biting a baby's cheeks.
Yeah. I never heard the punching part, but biting definitely.
I don't want to punch. Disclaimer: I don't want to punch anybody, anything cute or ugly.
What about biting babies' faces? You had to think about it.
I have to think about it. No. I get it. The cheeks are chunky, so they want to bite them. But whatever. No, I never wanted to.
The dirt on my head probably has an historical meaning.
Probably,
at least from like some kind of story.
But why I had even brought that up was just that I appreciate that. I appreciate understanding and knowing the nuances and different expressions, and like you were saying about the puns that you get from French, the French puns that you understand.
Yeah, I
appreciate knowing that I can communicate and understand these things from these other languages. Which, I mean, for me, Persian, like Farsi at this point, is a language. It's not a culture that I have like someone, like my roots are there, but I'm not totally in.
Yeah, but ultimately that's my stance on it. Like, to go back to the original conversation, is I just want to, like, I see what's going on, more or less, like to the amount that I decide to pay attention to.
Right.
As far as the politics of the language go. And then I just navigate my way around it, and I get the best out of it for myself. And I don't know if I'll stay here for the rest of my life.
Do you have any plans?
Not specifically, no. But and Montreal has been really good to me, and I live in a really lovely neighborhood right now, which I discovered recently. But still, it's like I navigate through the language issues in a way that's beneficial to me. I know that sounds selfish, but ultimately that's what it is. Like, I speak French to the extent that I need to speak French, and English and Russian, and I value the ability of doing all three of those.
Yeah.
And I don't really care if somebody tells me to like speak more French, because I'll still do it the way I need to do it.
Right. And I mean, I totally get you on that, because I do the same thing. And I mean, I work for a big local corporation, and French is very vital to that company. I mean, none of the communications are set in English. Nothing's done in English.
For sure.
I mean, but I still speak in English with a lot of my coworkers. I know that a lot of people do get annoyed with that sometimes, but I mean that's just how I feel comfortable communicating.
Yeah.
But there's something to be said though, and about the fact that, for example, for me, a lot of people don't know this, but I changed my name at work. I don't go by Navid. I actually go by another name, and that was a conscious decision that I made. That some people suggested that I would do that, and I followed through, and quickly I realized how right they were.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a sad reality to me. That, language aside, I mean, I speak perfect French, so when I speak with them now with my new international name, if you will, my Canadianized name, they don't, until they meet me, they don't know where I'm from. They don't know my background. They don't know anything about me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know why I brought that up.
But it's the kind of like...
I have no reason. Sorry, guys. I have no reason. I have no idea why I even brought that up. Bring this back on track, Nick.
Thanks. No, but I think that you brought it up in the sense that, like, you know, they're overdoing it with, like, in order to preserve their culture, they want to kill off other cultures.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you.
And I think that it's a huge issue because as far as French goes, I never learned anything of value in school in French that I couldn't have learned in English school, except that I remember our history classes, even though they were Canadian history, they were purely about Quebec.
Yes, absolutely.
It was 80% about Quebec and then 20% about Canada and the States and how, like, you know, the beginnings of our continent. And it was very skewed. Nothing about the natives.
Very little about the natives.
Very little about Anglophones and the English that were here.
Yeah.
But all, like, Quebecois.
But isn't that to be said for every nation's history? It's always skewed in their preference, or...
That's possible, but as far as I see now, we're not a nation of Quebecois, you know.
Of course
we are
not.
Canadian, and we're just a province. And for me to know very little, to have learned very little about Canadian history in a Canadian school, which it was until Quebec separates, it's a Canadian school.
Absolutely.
I think that's not fair.
I
think they're like, I'm very interested in Quebecois culture, but I only became interested in Quebecois culture when I saw something that was culturally appealing to me. Which was à la claire ensemble.
Oh, really?
Because, and I know it sounds silly, it's a rap group, but they're amazing, and their slang is on point. Yeah. They're very creative, and that's not to be said of a lot of bands, you know. Yeah. And they have a lot of...
So that's what made you interested in Quebec culture?
Well, I mean, they had a lot of slang that was reminiscent of the history books that I had in school, and it made me think.
Like what?
Well, first of all, like, their main rapper, it goes by Robert Nelson. Okay. Who was a political figure, who was actually an Anglo political figure. That was part of like Quebec nationalism. So just right there, like, if you hear Robert Nelson and you don't want to find out why the man calls himself that,
I am very curious to know why he calls himself that.
You know, like, but I'm not a reference point for Quebec history, so I don't want to shoot myself in the foot and start talking about it.
Okay. But so you're making me have to Google it after the show.
Yeah, definitely.
This is everybody's homework.
Yeah.
Go and Google
Robert
Nelson. And is the reason why you chose the name directly linked to what Robert Nelson was known for, or?
I think you can trace a few parallels.
Right. Okay.
If you, but and again, like, even saying that right now, trying to explain it won't serve it a huge purpose, because you need to have heard the band.
I want you to link up or shoot me one of the links or something.
It's just à la claire ensemble.bandcamp.com.
Just listen to everything.
Listen to everything. Their first album is still, like, in the beginning of the list. They have a few more albums.
How many albums do they have?
They have a bunch of releases on their Bandcamp. They've been really active.
They're directly linked to the whole Pew Pew movement, right?
In the sense that Yeah, in the sense that one of their producers is V Looper, and V Looper is actually the man who coined the term pew pew music
Okay.
at one of the shows, and thus he's considered as the father of pew pew,
Okay.
or I forgot what the term for him is. And they're also working with Kenlo, who's one of the other main like forefathers of the movement, because he's been doing it for years. He's very prolific too. Like he's been around. He's known around the world.
These are people you look up to, obviously, since you just said like this is what made you interested in the culture itself.
Yeah, but what made me interested in the culture is the lyrical content.
Okay.
What made me pay attention to the lyrical content is the way it was presented musically, because I'm used
the
to
characters, or
I'm used to Quebecois rap being and like that's a whole other thing, but like I'm used to Quebecois rap being ranging from loco-locas, which is heavily nationalist and basically just like
very politically oriented.
White people, I guess rapping because they don't have a voice for singing.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. And then you have Sans Pression and Ils Vont Crever and all those people who, you know, they were hot for a minute too, like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And then you have other rappers like along the same line, like 8-3. They're all from like, they're not from Montreal, I believe.
From the region, right? Like South Shore or something? Or?
No, like Quebec and that,
Quebec?
that part.
Really, that far down?
Yeah, well, À la Claire are mostly from Quebec, actually.
Are they?
So until À la Claire came into my life as a musical influence, that's all I knew about Quebec rap, and I couldn't stand it. Like most of those, like Locas, obviously not for me, because of the delivery, because of their content. Like it was not for me. I wasn't paying attention to that.
Yeah.
Sans Pression was too like grimy and like.
I liked it when it first came out with the
for sure.
For sure. Dans mon réseau. When that came out, I was I think in 7th grade, like Sec 1.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, like it's still like I didn't feel like when that song came out,
but
Le Tâche Souterrain was dope, and
for
Ils Vont
me,
Crever around the time
reminded me
was
a lot
dope
of
too.
like it felt like a French DMX at the time. Like that's what.
But that was what was popping. Like,
yeah,
Mazayan was popping.
Mm-hmm.
Mazayan was amazing because of their mix of languages. To me, that was amazing. But in French rap, like that's as far as it went.
Pretty much.
And I was down with the Taj Souterrain. I was down with Mazayan a lot, but then it kind of just waned on me. And yeah, I listened to it, but
I stopped paying attention very quickly.
Yeah, but the content was something I could relate to because I was living in the areas that they were describing back then. So like to me it was kind of like it's kind of like it's natural for me to hear like my bus being shout out in the song, you know.
Okay.
It was cool actually, you know. It felt like this guy's a celebrity. He's talking about like people like me, you know. And then I stopped paying attention, and to go back to school, like history lessons, I hated them because it felt so forced all the time. Like everything had to be like around this French. My school was heavily nationalistic and separatist.
So were my peers, French. Like my schoolmates were all like heavily French and nationalistic, and I never felt like I belonged there. Yeah,
so exactly. So as an immigrant, I never could identify myself with anything in Quebec history or in that school, you know. And then I hear À la Claire that are bringing back that history, but they're presenting it in such a way that made me want to listen to it.
So their subject matter is actually about history?
What?
Their subject matter is actually about
No,
history?
it's not. It's hard to describe what they rap about.
Okay.
At first, I was hearing them as joke rappers because there was a huge movement of like joke rap just coming out of everywhere.
Like 2 years ago?
Yeah, and it felt like over that period, everybody was a joke rapper.
And all that was coming out.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are still around, but like they don't come near the quality of À la Claire, you know? It's like À la Claire had beats by V Looper and Kenlo who are amazing musicians, and they have the ear to the ground at all times, like heavily, you know, obviously influenced by J Dilla. They're very open about it too. So like their beats have a Detroit influence,
Okay.
which to me is always appealing. Like I feel like Detroit hip hop is one of the best musical styles there is. I put it in a category in its own. So their beats were reminiscent of that. Their delivery, as far as rap goes, you had Danse la Poutine, and they had their own joking patterns, but those patterns were not serious rap patterns. You cannot
it's still jokey.
Yeah, you cannot vibe with them as on a serious level, you know. Whereas A La Cloud were like fitting in syllables like I never heard before.
They were serious about not being serious at the time.
Yeah, but they were joking about certain the content, but they were really good at it.
Yeah,
and they still are. And it's just like I just cannot call them joke rap at all, ever. You know, it's like they have set the standards so high that I don't think anybody's able to actually like follow up with that.
Wow.
So, but they're doing pretty good. Like I'm curious. Like they started promoting their second official album. It's coming out soon. And I don't want to sound like I'm promoting for them, but I'm actually genuinely excited about it.
You're excited. You're looking forward to it.
Which I cannot say about a lot of people. So, yeah, it's like they had a slang. And they used certain words that were out of use in Quebecois language.
Yeah.
And they made me aware of like how Quebecois culture and how the Quebecois language is actually beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's rich, but when it's presented to you in a way that's forced in your face, then it's presented like under, well, you have to speak French. And that's all you see. Like, if you're an immigrant, you have to speak French. Therefore, if you're an immigrant...
Well, it's like anything that feels forced, it sucks.
Yeah. But in this case, in this discussion in particular, when we're talking about Quebec culture, it's forced upon you to know Quebec culture.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to speak anything but French. So that wasn't making me feel like studying it more. Whereas, like, once somebody presented me with a piece of Quebec culture in the way that's not only relatable, but it's actually like not like a cheap school product, but
it's easily digestible.
Yeah. And that's how that's where the problem lies. Is like, if you want people to care about French culture, French language, and Quebecois culture, then focus on the culture, not on the language.
Yeah.
Like, the focus is always on the language, but it never, like, makes me want to be like, well, why do I want to speak French, you know?
Right.
If you just tell me to speak French. Whereas, if you show me culture, like, I was listening to A La Claire, and I'm like, shit, like, they speak too fast for me, and I thought that I was good, and, like, I could speak fairly well, and I'm like, wait a minute, and then I started breaking down the lyrics, listening harder, listening more attentively, and I was in Vancouver then, too, so, like, I was, like, surrounded by...
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I was, like, first of all, I had, like, a little bit of nostalgia, and then I started listening to them, like, really intently.
It was like bringing you back home.
Yeah, but also I was learning a lot of things, a lot of, like, sentence structures. Navid is on the cell phone right now.
No, I'm taking a picture of you while you're talking.
Same deal.
Go ahead.
It's what it was, though. They presented the culture in a very colorful and like, fun way. And so I went on their website. They have a glossary of the terms that they use.
Really?
I realized that those terms are a lot of terms that are not in use anymore in the language, just because they're out of date. But they use it because they're funny. They sound funny.
It's actually smart that they would put a glossary of the terms that they
their
use.
branding is on point.
They're very
They're very and we were talking about that earlier, but they're very consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And their designs are not great from a designer's perspective in terms of, like, you know, I wouldn't use that color with that color. But regardless, like, the way that their design fits another design is perfect. Like, their website, sure, would probably not win a design award, but that's not to speak ill of it. I still think that it's dope.
It gives out the message or whatever it is that they want to give out for themselves.
It looks like it's like a website that's coming out of a typewriter, you know?
Okay.
And it fits. Like, it just fits. Everything fits. It's perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Like, not a lot of people do that. I see, like, one of the most annoying things about Quebec is Quebec hip hop, and one of the most annoying things about Quebec hip hop is the lack of originality and the pompousness of Quebec hip hop design that accompanies the music.
Okay.
It's like, and people don't try to look elsewhere. It's like it's all like high contrast black and white images of people looking mean or looking upset. And by people I mean rappers. Like, all rappers in Quebec look upset. And I think it's because they can't break through. And I think that they can't break through because they're all upset. They're shooting themselves in the foot.
So when you say all Quebec rappers, you mean English or French? Doesn't matter?
To be honest, hip hop Quebec, hip hop HHQC.
Yeah.
Like, they promote, like, I have them in my network, so I see a lot of the people that they promote, and all those people look kind of upset. But all those people are francophones, most of them. I don't really even know that many Anglo rappers.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you're surrounded by Anglo rappers.
Maybe I'm in denial.
Because you are. From my perspective, there's Anglo rappers all around you, I think.
Are we talking about Anglo rappers or Franco rappers that rap in English?
Whoa.
Because there's a lot of those,
really?
Too. Yeah. We call them ESL rappers.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's we? What are you
that doesn't need to be said.
There's a group of people calling a group of rappers ESL rappers. And that's Franco, and I didn't even know, like, you know what? I don't even think about that, to be honest. If unless it's very obvious that they have a very thick French accent when they speak, when they rap in English.
I don't know. I think as an immigrant, and most of the people surrounding me are immigrants as well.
Right.
With who I converse in English, but who are bilingual or trilingual. Most of the people I know, like, that
are trilingual.
Yeah. And we notice, because we're at a point where we master the languages to the extent where we notice the accent
right.
when somebody else has it.
Yeah.
So we notice the slight English accent or the slight French accent in an English verse, or certain sentences that are being said, the way that you would say them in French, but with English words.
Okay.
So that's what we call ESL rappers, and it's like, not to discredit them, they're doing their thing, but we notice those things.
Yeah.
It's like, no pressure, but we're listening, you know. But it's like,
and this is honestly something that I've noticed too about that is like, shit, I really wish I was there to tell that person, like, just flip that word around.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
It's not even again, like you said, it's not to discredit anybody, but it's just, if I fuck up the way that I sentence something, and somebody spots it, really wish they would tell me before I record it.
For sure. But I mean, people are doing the work. Like, people are putting in work, which is great. But yeah, why do you have to look upset? Like, I don't know. English. I think English rappers fall in the same category, though. I'm talking Anglo rappers, not English. But everybody looks upset.
Well, is that just the look of? Is that just the artsy look that's going out now? Is that really?
I don't consider that artsy at all, man. It's like, I feel like
pseudo artsy.
Not even. It's like people are so, like, rappers are so adamant about preserving whatever they have of the resemblance of a street cred, that they need to look mean on their album cover so that people don't think that they're either too friendly or gay or something. Especially gay. Like, gay is like a rapper's kryptonite, you know?
You know what? You say that? I had a tweet that I was about to pull out the other day, and I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, just off the fact that, off the strength that most will not even take it the way that is meant to be taken, so I'm just going to skip it. And it's out of that fear of being labeled anything in this hip-hop
people don't
world.
like labels, but at the same time, you do notice that people that have labels are the ones that make it, you know?
But gay's a big one when you're not.
Gay's a big one, but look at Danny Brown. He's my latest obsession as far as hip hop goes. People ask him if he's gay at every single interview.
Yeah.
Every single interview I've seen so far, it's like, yo, Danny, are you gay? And he's like, oh man, you gotta stop asking me that. And he addresses it in a few songs. He's like, yo, you make fun of my tight pants because you're just upset that I'm getting your girl. You know, it's like, it's pretty much that. Like he got the label and he fucks with it because he still gets like whatever he wants to get out of it, you know.
Yeah.
And but other rappers, like, and includes people that I worked with, like no pink on the design because they're afraid that it's going to be misconstrued as them being gay. And like in 2012, 2011, even pink associated to gay, that's pretty retarded.
I think it is at this point, absolutely.
And I'm not saying retarded in the mental thing. I'm retarded
no.
like
Retarded is completely,
progress,
absolutely
you know?
retarded. Yeah,
it's like
it's just it's retarded within our society.
And then, but then you have people like Laura Jamar from Brand Nubian. Okay, he just recorded a whole track addressing the fact that Kanye wore a kilt at the last tour. And he was saying that Kanye is pretty much like the epitome of queer in hip hop, and he's promoting a demasculinization of the male rapper in the industry
of the black male, and it's just I've heard that.
And I was gonna subtweet him, but then I realized that he actually follows me, so I'm just like, I don't even. I feel bad now. I don't. So I didn't speak my mind on Twitter, but I'm just like, man, it just felt like, and it's a group that I respect because they come from the old school and from, you know, when things actually meant anything. And then he says something like that, which set him back like 50 years in my head, you know. Yeah.
It's an ignorance level.
Yeah, but out of the rappers that I worked with, like, some people just like,
you still feel that way. Yeah. A lot of people still feel that way.
And that's why I need that filter when I talk to people and when I work with people is I need to do, like, if I feel like this record should be all pink, I need you to let me put it all pink because that's what's going to
that's what you feel
have
out
you
of the
sell
record,
more.
right?
Yeah, because that's how I feel it's going to look better. And if you feel like you're afraid of a color, then, I mean, who cares about, like, I don't know, street cred?
I'm going to announce my tweet. It wasn't even that funny, but I just figured, I'm like, if this was in the world of stand-up comedy, nobody would have think about it twice. But because it's hip-hop, the homosexuality aspect of it is so big.
Yeah, but hip-hop is still, like, men are still desperately trying to like, grasp and have, like,
alpha,
the ownership. Yeah, the alpha male ownership of hip-hop. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, I'd rather listen to, like, Mickey Blanco or Leaf or whoever it is. Like, there's a whole scene of, like, drag queens and like, queer rappers in New York.
Are they any good?
They're amazing.
Are they? Yeah.
They can murder any, like, rapper out now, but they're set apart because they're openly gay.
Do they talk about sucking dick, though?
Everything.
See,
like, they're pretty open. It does make me,
that's why
like,
I think it would make a lot of people uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable listening about it, but I still feel like if there was a freestyle battle, that guy would murder the other guy.
Probably, because, I mean,
but
the other rapper can't even say, suck my dick.
No, exactly.
It's just...
Yeah, because at that point,
He's just giving him all the ammo at that point.
Yeah.
It's all his.
So that's one thing, but, I mean, regardless, I still think that it's upsetting that gay rappers are called gay rappers and that female rappers are called femcs. Yeah, it's like you're labeling yourself. Even if, like, some people, it's like some women I've seen label themselves as a femc.
Yeah, but that's more. See, I get that. It's like, I'm putting a label on it. We're our own category because we're that much, like, apart from them. It's almost like, I don't know. I see it in a positive way, but I also see it in your way too. Because I do see it as an empowering thing, calling yourself a femc. I do see it as something that could be used as an empowering term. Yeah. But I do see the set apart part, and I don't think that it's necessary. I don't think anything like.
But again, it's a label.
Yeah, yeah. I have a lot of trouble with labels. Realizing that more and more over the years.
Yeah.
I hate fucking hate labels. The moment there's a label, there's an expectation, and that expectation ends up fucking bouncing back at you for somehow. And this applies both at life and it applies in music. And if you're known for that type of musician, for example, like we asked you before, how do you label your music? Well, you don't really, right? You call it electronic, but it's such a vague one. And I think it's the right way of doing it.
Yeah, but I don't really think about it.
But that's it. It's the right way of doing it. It's electronic music. You're gonna get anything that you're gonna get out of it. Well, that's your personal. You as a producer, that's your personal experience with it. And I think that should be everybody's experience. I don't think anybody should label anyone for that matter.
It's kind of where the way that the world is going right now. Some people function with labels.
Yeah.
Like
their work title, for example, doctor. You ever seen a form? You have to choose Mr., Mrs. Doctor is in there.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, doctor
you're past Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah. Well, I can understand that. You've done so much. You spent so many years in school that you're not really a human being anymore.
What? Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to call you by your name if I know you. I'm not going to call you some doc.
Well, yeah, but in official documents, you're a doctor regardless of the sex.
Yeah. But what happens? You put doctor on that form. Is your mail getting delivered faster because you're a doctor?
No, but
are your packages better taken care of?
To be referred to as doctor. Like, you're supposed to call the president Mr. President. You have it, but it's not a label in the same respect as a gay rapper or as a female rapper.
No, totally. I know.
It's different. That's like more a title. That's a title. Like, I want to be called MC.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah.
No, but when I said people work with labels, I was thinking about like a producer that would tell you that I make dance, pop, hip hop, and underground rap.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that even mean?
Well, because there's usually one that says, because there's a certain model that it's based off of. Or
so models, and that's where the problem lies. Is like the models, the labels apply to make you fit inside a model.
It's an industry, though, at the end of the day. That's the problem. That's where the problem is, in my opinion. Is that there's an industry based off that art that becomes, again, expectations.
Yeah, but then it shouldn't be fit. It shouldn't fit in the same category as the art itself. Like the music that's made for the industry. If it's made for the purpose of selling, then it's made for the purpose of selling. It's more like graphic design is not necessarily art, because when you're making art, you're not necessarily making for the purpose of selling.
Yeah.
Graphics design's sole purpose is to make something marketable. Like a graphic designer is a part of the marketing department, because the marketing department is trying to sell a product that they're working on, and pretty much the liaison between the customer and the product is the graphic design that packages the whole thing.
Art itself.
Yeah, but it's
That's
not
the medium. It's the medium.
It's the medium between the two,
but it's not art.
It's not art because it's made. It's art with a purpose in a way, but it's devoid of any soul to the point where it just has to sell. If a design is beautiful but it doesn't sell the product, then it's not a good design. But if it has soul and it sells a product, then is it considered art? The approach is different though. I'm talking about the regular definition of design. If you're a designer and you're making amazing pieces but you're not really selling, right? You're not really helping sell anything, then you're not really you're not doing the job. Yeah. It's like when you're an engineer and you build something, it has to perform the function that it was designed to perform. If it's not doing that, if it just looks good, then you haven't done your job as an engineer. Right. It's the same thing. As an artist, you can do whatever. Like, you can have your phases and you can paint, or you can make music like Miles Davis did, for instance. He could do, like, if he did a painting, it's still a Miles Davis work of art. Right. Same thing for, like, Andy Warhol. He produced a couple of albums for Velvet Underground. Yeah. And because he wanted to. That's art. They didn't sell. It didn't sell that
But
much.
that's
They
art.
became cult albums that only a handful of people know about. But
my thing is based on what you're saying. When does having soul make it art? But if it's like, because before you're talking about like if you're doing it with the purpose of selling,
yeah,
then it's not art.
well, if you sell art, then it's different. But your art is not used as a medium to sell a product.
Okay.
When you use a painting as part of a design, then the design sells the product, and the painting is a tool in that design to sell the product. But a painting in itself, unless it's designed to sell the product, is probably not gonna help you sell the product.
What if the product is the painting?
Well, then you're selling that. You're selling art.
Okay.
But if you use that art to sell something else, is what I mean. Like when that art becomes a medium for a third thing.
Jingle for a commercial or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I feel like whenever I meet somebody who says that they compose jingles for commercials, I don't know how to take it. Like,
do you actually meet people?
Yeah, I've met a couple of people.
I've been waiting.
I met a couple of people like that, and they're making a living out of it because there's money there. You get paid by big corporations, but at the same time, like I feel like this person will show me music, and that they made for the jingles, and I would be like, okay, it doesn't affect me in any way. No. Like especially as a designer, and I'm exposed to marketing every day.
So that's
I don't get affected by advertising. So
that's basically like the packaging equivalent in music.
Yeah.
That's
You can be artful about packaging. You can be very creative within the realm of selling products.
Okay.
And that's why there's awards, and that's why there's magazines that strictly talk about packaging or
how
about
closely
posters.
do you follow that?
Not quite. Because I get my inspiration from different sources. Like I get my inspiration from art form that isn't what I do. Like I don't really look at other designers to inspire myself for what I do. Sometimes I do see trends. When it's a trend that I like, I explore and I try to figure out where it comes from. Like the root of where a certain print was created. Like, because you don't want to get stuck copying a trend. Like you're just on the bandwagon. You get called out really quick. Or even if you don't get called out, you cannot make something.
You feel it anyways. Yeah. Your artistic integrity, like you feel it yourself that you're.
Not really. It's just like a lot of people would jump on a bandwagon, and I mean, let's talk about, again, I'm coming back to music because that's where I'm at right now. But let's talk about The Weeknd. The Weeknd had an amazing. Apparently, I never really messed with that, but
you should listen to it. I dug it.
The first mixtape was the one that set it off for him. Yeah. And he was already a protege of Drake, I think. So he had really good. He had an amazing production team. Yeah. With which he had a falling out with.
Okay.
And he got a new team on board, and that team followed the blueprint of the first mixtape to create the second and the third. So everything sounded like the first mixtape, but the essence was not there anymore.
Okay.
Because they just went for that style. And when you go for that style, like when you go for that trend, even as a designer, and you don't bring out the essence, you will never be able to make something memorable. Yeah. So like you need to break it down and go to the roots of where a certain design comes from, and that's how you make something new. So that's my creative process, is like breaking things down to the root.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I think that little bit of advice right there is gonna help out a lot of fucking people, me included. Yeah, me included, because that right there just made this whole time that you're talking, I'm thinking about things that I should look at differently or dig deeper in.
The thing is, like, whether you talk about design or music at a very basic level, you can use the same terms. Same thing for the best example is again Andy Warhol. Yeah, he created a movement. There's other people that existed around the same time that have similar styles. but their own styles.
Right.
And a lot of people made their own name with their styles back then. But Andy Warhol created the whole screen printing as art.
Yeah.
And the concept of being able to reproduce something. And the concept, I think the biggest thing is like being able to harness the fact that, like, for instance, Marilyn Monroe was his favorite, his muse almost, and this picture that he reproduced in hundreds of times, but himself. So everyone was kind of unique, but it was a reproduction of a picture, and that's the way people perceived her. Like, people only knew her as a two-dimensional image. Yeah. They did not see her as a real person, as a person with parents, as a person with psychological issues, with probably drug and alcohol issues. Yeah. They did not see it. They only saw the perfection that was presented in a movie on the silver screen. Yeah. Like, the silver screen is huge for Andy Warhol. Like, that's his main inspiration. So, but that's where his ideas came from. And so his replication of a Marilyn Monroe picture came from the idea of how millions of Americans see her on a flat screen every night and don't realize that she's a person. So his pictures were devoid of personality, but they had their own personality, right. But they took away the personality of the person and just used that as a visual, you know? So that's like, his process is deeply rooted. And the people that do the shit now, like, you can go into a MacBook photo booth and basically take a picture of yourself, and it's going to reproduce itself 4 times and change the colors into, I'm making air quotes, into pop art colors. Yeah. And it's going to be, the effect is called Andy Warhol, I think, or Andy, or pop art, or whatever. And it's bullshit because, like, that doesn't mean anything. There's no, but a lot of design mentalities like that. Like, you would look, and your boss would be like, "Yeah, do something like that looks like that Andy Warhol painting," and you just look at it, you imitate the colors, you imitate the structure, and you do that. It's easy to do. Yeah. But it's never gonna be memorable. Never. And until you break it down, and then you start from scratch. And you go take it your own way.
Do you use that mindset to pretty much everything in your life? Yeah, like breaking down to the essence. I mean, do you use that when it comes to new relationships, new friends, new experiences?
I don't actively use it because sometimes to break something down to the essence requires a lot of thinking time, and most of the time in life you don't get the opportunity to sit down and relax and kind of meditate on what's going on in your life, and to boil it down and break it down to the finer particles. But it does help. Like, when you do have the chance to do it, I try to do it, and sometimes it even requires you to state the obvious. A couple of times you repeat something that is obvious, and all of a sudden it's like you're flipping it over, and all of a sudden it falls on the new side, and you're like, oh shit, you're right, it is that. You're repeating the same words, and you're like, shit, you just understood the meaning of each of those words, and it makes you see things differently. So,
we're breaking down the word amused the other day.
What?
We're breaking down the word amused the other day. I was like, this totally, like, mind-opening experience, and just looking at something differently, and looking at the obvious that is right there in front of you.
Yeah, you take things like that for granted, like the word awesome. Yeah, a lot of people don't even know how to spell it. Yeah, they spell it without the E, which is kind of how it's pronounced. You good?
Nah.
What happened? It's kind of crazy because, like, I don't see myself, so it's like I don't know how I interact in certain situations, but like when you're on stage, it's kind of an extreme situation too. It's like it doesn't fully represent how I am in real life but I feel like seeing videos of myself perform is like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do less of that, you know. And I feel like
at the same time, you could say all of that, but there's, like you said, it's not totally you that's on stage. That's a totally different person, though. Like, you could plan out a million things. When you're feeling something at that moment, then it's a completely different experience. You might bring back the things that you planned, like, you know, certain footings or certain moves that you would do at a certain time.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, to me, it's like it's so different because
it's in the moment.
I'm not like I don't see myself yet as a performing artist.
Yeah.
So like for me to be on stage and have a stage persona is weird because I didn't know that I even had one.
Yeah.
And I feel like the first time I was on stage, I was like, that was me. That was awkward me.
Yeah.
But like try to like learning something new. Second time I was like, okay, I realize what I'm doing on stage that I do differently.
Yeah.
When I'm not on stage, and started like working on that. Third time I was like, okay, I'm getting a little better, but these are things I need to improve. Fourth time was like, just watching this video now. Are you recording?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching a video of our performance with micro skills at hip hop karaoke last Thursday,
yeah.
And it was weird. Like I remember it, but it's like I don't remember it because first of all, I never in normal situations my voice never travels that high.
Yeah.
I obviously have very little control at that range. But it's a lot more powerful than my usual voice.
Because you're pushing it out at a level that you never do.
Yeah.
You don't
it's
even
coming
practice
from
at that level, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I didn't run out of breath. I didn't move that much.
Right.
Like, micro skills is more like of an energetic, like, you know, performer. But it's still like, it's pretty incredible to watch it.
Oh,
like,
it's dope. It's dope to watch
the crowd respond too. Like, it was unexpected.
It's the perfect song to choose, to be honest.
Yeah, but honestly, like both micro skills and myself, we were like, no, we're gonna take a little break, you know, because we did good. Like he did 2 amazing performances.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy with mine, and at least in terms of like my own knowledge of self, you know, of like the things that I can do that I was not aware that I could do. So it was a positive experience for me as well. But like we're like, yeah, we're gonna take a little break.
Yeah.
But then I was at Tendance Urbaine during the hip hop karaoke team interview.
Yeah.
And they were talking. I think they were already talking, and I'm like, I text Micro Skills, and I'm like, I'm thinking of a song. He's like, oh shit, you're gonna do it again? I'm like, no, I need your help. And he's like, you know, I don't really want to do it, but what's the song? Like, I'll tell him. Like Andy Up remix, and he's like, you know, the usual, like if you know how he tweets, you would know, like he's like, oh shit,
we'll go.
Yeah, and then that was pretty much it. Like
Micro Skills.
So I signed up to hip hop karaoke in person.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So sorry for those who are just catching up with us. We ended up having a fuck up with the audio. Restarted the computer. And Nik and I just kept talking, and you just caught us midway after him watching his performance with Micro Skills last Thursday at Hip Hop Karaoke at the Belmont. They performed Annie Up the remix in a dope ass fucking performance. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try to get that shit online, and I'm gonna put it as a company piece to the episode. That's a little gift you get. But yeah, no, really dope fucking performance. The crowd was super into it. I was into it. Everybody singing along. But so now we're talking about basically stage presence and different personas, character development. I mean, there's a whole
realm of it for everybody. But as a graphic designer or an engineering graduate, I don't have a stage persona.
As far as you knew.
Yeah, like I never had to use it.
Yeah. So
it's pretty cool to see that I can go that route too. Not in terms of becoming a performing artist, but at least
you've done it. You got
knowing that I have it in me, that I don't have as many limits in my that I don't have as many limits as I do in my head. Basically, like I have a lot of restrictions that I think that I shouldn't be doing this. that's reserved for people that are actually like professionals in it, like music or whatever.
Yeah.
Whether it's production or I felt the same way about illustration actually.
Okay.
I still feel the same way about painting and photography, where I'm just like, yeah, but photographers do professional photography. I don't want to like step into their realm,
right?
And trying to tell anybody that I can do this too, because like in all actuality, like I don't feel like I can, but then I do realize that there's certain things that I can do. Yeah, it's just that I don't give myself the chance to, because I'm assuming that I'm not supposed to be doing it because other people are doing it better already. Right. So every time you find that you have less limits than you thought you had is a good thing.
Of course it is. I mean, even my roommate was even talking about maybe doing a song. He's never been on stage for anything except for receiving an award for something.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it gives that vibe out for people to just
and so far I noticed this trend where you would invite somebody to come to an event like hip hop karaoke, and they see how people that they were just surrounded by, like people that were in the crowd next to them, go up on stage, perform a track, either bomb it or rip it, and they're like, next time I want to do it too. Like I'm thinking of signing up. A lot of people don't sign up because they pussy out. But some people do, and it's good results. And once you sign up once, then you want to do it again because it's addicted.
You know what? I feel like I bombed last time. My last shit, really feel like I bombed it. Yeah. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel good at all. I usually thrive on being on stage, and last time it didn't really feel good.
Yeah. Well, you said you rehearsed it a bit less too, though.
I did rehearse it a bit less, but it wasn't so much that. I didn't feel like I missed out on the parts. Yeah. I just... The whole reality of just not practicing it at the same level as you would on stage.
Yeah, but I think it also has to be a song that really clicks.
Yeah,
like I don't see you
with the crowd, and
but I don't see that being a song that anybody would actually love. No, I don't know if it's the case for you.
I liked
you
it.
Like it, but do you love it?
Well, when I was a kid, when it first came out, for me it was like a song.
Was that the standout song?
No,
it's not. Like somebody did. Somebody did. Another song from that album.
From that album?
Yeah, My Name Is was on that album.
Who did My Name Is?
Somebody did.
Somebody did My Name Is?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It was like fucking 6 Eminem songs.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It had to be that night too that I fucking ended up doing an Eminem song. I think there's been no Eminem songs at all.
Circumstances were not there for you. But it doesn't mean that. Like I think that you did a good job in terms of like imitating the voices, but
that's not why I brought it up.
For me,
to receive praise for it.
No, but it's like another realm of performing is that you actually need to live that song.
Oh, yeah,
while you're performing it, and I don't see anybody being able to do that. Like I don't even see the artist that wrote that song being really into performing it. You know?
Probably not. I still had fun doing it though, but I mean, it didn't come out the way that I had pictured it in my mind for multiple reasons that I'm not gonna get into. But it it didn't come out. I had pictured it in a way, and it usually when I picture things a certain way, they usually end up coming out that way.
Yeah. And
it's an exercise that I have regularly with my life. Generally, a lot of the times is that I'll picture scenarios.
Yeah.
And how they come out. And I work on trying to bring that scenario to that certain point. When it doesn't come out that way, it could either be like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, I just get over it. But then sometimes if it doesn't come out that way, which is on stage, it's a much worse presence. Fuck, dude, we did the opening of a Beanie Man show once.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, did we bomb. Shit. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. Having 400 people plus there watching us, and just, they had waited for 3 hours for Beanie Man to come on stage.
Yeah.
And before Beanie Man was us. And they're like, who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah.
Give them music that they're at that point like, yo, get the fuck off stage, dude. We want Beanie Man. Beanie Man came on afterwards, and just the place went fucking crazy. But it was one of the worst experiences I've ever had to live through.
Yeah,
I wish that I don't wish that upon anybody, but at the same time, I do feel that every single artist has to go through it. And I say artist as somebody that is gonna create art. For example, even you with like graphic design, you might or just illustration, you might feel like you're bombing at times where shit doesn't come out the way that it's supposed to. You're completely mesmerized with the controllers. With the controllers.
So many controllers. No, but I'm listening though. I'm thinking at the same time that there's a difference here because, for most, like 99% of the time, illustration is not a performing art. So you don't have a crowd, and you don't have this feedback, this instantaneous feedback of what you're doing, as you're doing it, which is completely different. Yeah. So I feel like having this feedback of the crowd adds an extra amount of stress to you because you see that they're not responding, and you try to maybe force it, or when you really shoot yourself, and a lot of the time you probably end up shooting yourself in the foot or digging yourself an even bigger hole. In terms of like when you try too hard, that's even worse. Yeah. So whereas for illustration, man, like illustration to me is like one of the most positive experiences. Like I could be alone in my apartment on the floor, and just straight up drawing whatever I want, and knowing that and knowing that if I don't have to share it with anybody, and it just has to please me. So I take the time that is necessary to finish it. Yeah, I'm thinking. This giant lion looking at me.
Yeah, I dropped some water, so...
Technical difficulties.
This shit. Yeah, I also broke the mic tonight and everything. Dude, it's 11 o'clock. You said you have to be out of here.
Yeah.
I do want you back on another night. You know what I want to do? Honestly, and I'm saying this to you, and I'm going to say this to my next guest. I'm going to do this earlier on in the afternoon, like on a Sunday. Yeah. Like early Sunday afternoon, I think would be a better time than starting at 7, and then we start recording by 9. By then we get tired, and the conversations just... Yeah. They're tired conversations. I don't want to put anybody to sleep with the show. I feel like I'm going to sleep, but that's just because I'm high and I'm tired.
That's probably that.
I'll probably stop smoking as much weed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, probably...
This show is going to become like a therapy session.
Dude, honestly, it is going to become a therapy session. You see, I'm still smoking cigarettes. I didn't fully commit to what I said on stage yet, but I'm quitting starting tomorrow. I did mean it. That's
probably the most repeated sentence in the history of the world.
Probably.
Quitting,
I'll quit
starting tomorrow.
I am going to quit cigarettes, though. I said I was going to quit it starting tomorrow. Tomorrow's what, the 25th? Quitting on the 25th. You ever see me with a cigarette again, dude, I want you to slap it out of my hands. And I swear, I really want you to hold on to that one. Okay. Can you do this? Yeah. You're going to slap it out of my hands? Yeah. Promise? Yeah. You serious?
Yeah, sounds good.
Fucking beautiful. Not after this pack. Let me finish these ones.
So you're going to finish the pack today?
Yeah. Well, there's like a few left. Yeah.
All right.
Might as well, right? Just bang them out. Dude, promote your links.
I don't really do that, man.
You don't do that?
People can find me if they have to.
Yeah. Oh, you already said it before.
Yeah, I said it more than enough times. Yeah. And then I'm not currently promoting my design stuff because I'm like in over my head with other things that I just want to finish and get out of the way. So people really need me, they'll find me.
Hey, it's not that hard. Overthebreaks. Just fucking Google them. You get you or Dilla, right?
Or Fallout Boy.
Fallout Boy?
Yeah, they have something over the breaks. Okay. Over the break. I don't know. I did find Fallout Boy when I looked for Over the Breaks.
So you Googled yourself?
Just Over the Breaks.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do Google myself every now and then.
I should. I haven't.
It's healthy, man.
Is it?
Yeah. I think it's just like it puts in perspective what the world will see if what a potential employer would see if they look for you.
Fuck.
And I'm pretty happy because yeah.
How the fuck would you clean it up anyways? How do you clean up the internet?
You can't clean up the internet.
You can't clean up the internet.
It's fucked.
So you're fucked.
At least No,
At least you're conscious of it.
yeah, at least you're conscious about it. Like kids, it's very important. Like every single thing you post can bite you in the face.
Especially for younger kids right now, right?
Everybody's oversharing, but it's gonna come back at you. Cause
Is it, or is it just gonna become the way that things are?
it depends how the standards change. Like, and
I
whether
think
the
they
standard.
are, dude. At some point, I think they are.
Yeah, but it's
mean,
still important. I noticed it in the way that I got my current job, which I love. I noticed that the language that I was using in the CV in the communication with the people was different, and it was reflective of how I want to communicate at work.
Okay.
Like I rewrote my CV in a language that in a tone that reflects that, and it helped. It did everything actually. So like
In the tone that you actually use.
yeah,
Really?
yeah, it was very conversational and friendly. And that's how it works. Like that's
Can
how
I
my
read it?
department. Yeah, it's on.
That'd be awesome. I actually want to read it.
It's on my website.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's okay. Yeah, of course it would be.
and yeah, it helped a lot. You need to be conscious, man. Like it's one of the like. If you're not sure that something is beneficial for you to tweet it, then probably you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And it's not to promote a certain censorship, because some of the best ideas come of like spur of the moment,
Yeah.
like brain farts.
But what is it actually bringing you?
For me, I keep an archives of my tweets because it helps me. Like it generates ideas for illustrations and designs and even like other pieces of writing that I do. You know.
Okay.
But I am conscious about like the kind
there's
of
a reason why
ideas,
you're doing it.
the kind of ideas that I'm promoting through them, because people, oddly enough, people are listening or reading, and if somebody like comes back to me and questions something I wrote, I want to be able to make sure that I have an answer.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna push an idea that I don't stand by, ever, like because I won't be able to explain why I wrote it. Like I probably have an explanation to everything I write that goes beyond like, oh, I felt like writing it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that it's important. Like, I don't know, it's totally different tangent, but
No, I'm digging
just
this.
like the internet is pretty much everywhere right now. So like, if you Google yourself and you find just like trashy things about yourself that are actually related, unless you're like unlucky enough to have like a very common name.
Yeah.
Then
Well, actually, isn't that lucky enough?
if you I
I would think that's lucky enough. If that's your real
too.
name, that's pretty
It
fucking
depends.
lucky, bro. Shit gets confusing and they're not even gonna bother looking deeper into
Yeah,
it.
but I'm as an immigrant, I'm on the other side of the
So am I.
spectrum. Yeah,
You're part of the ones that you didn't have your name on the keychains,
on the keychain,
like
on the little
stickers and shit.
stickers
I
and
never had my
plates and
name anywhere.
mugs. Yeah, yeah.
Never.
So
I always had Nick, who would have seen. I always had David. No, never.
yeah,
So.
yeah. If only. But yeah, so super easy to find yourself when you're an immigrant.
Fuck yeah.
Unless you're, well, yeah. There's some Arabic names that are common.
Yeah, mine's
Indian,
not right.
Chinese names.
Mine is not common at all.
Yeah, no, for sure. But like, again, like
Yeah.
without generalizations, like we're both unlucky or lucky to have very unique names, but you have to use that in a beneficial way for yourself, you know.
Dude, I do not want to even begin Googling myself and try.
Well, if you do porn, the rule is that you shouldn't be using your name. You use your street name and your middle name.
I've been very smart. I've been generally very smart with where I've put which email addresses.
Yeah.
Because anybody that knows anything about computers knows that they need more than one email address.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I'm usually very, very aware of what I'm using where. But still, it's not just that. I don't know. I don't know what I've done at what point and where it may show up. I don't even want to begin to look for it. I'm worried.
Yeah. But at the same time, you can be more conscious about things like where the
at least have a story for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As to why it's there.
Yeah. I mean, I have some weird results, but That's because MySpace isn't dead yet.
Came back?
No, yeah, it did come back, but
No, there's a new design to it and everything. It's in beta. There's a new, like...
I got an invite for it,
Yeah.
I think.
Check it out.
I don't want it.
Check it out.
I don't want it.
Open another one.
Nah.
Just another
no.
one.
Just another MySpace account.
Fucking hell. I don't even know what accounts I have anymore. Anyways, speaking of accounts, dude, you gotta get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of accounts, fucking hell. Just type in Apartment 6 on Facebook. That's where we're at. That'll be the main place for now. Until I open a blog just to keep a good, proper archive of everything. I do want to invite you back here.
Cool.
Earlier afternoon.
Yeah.
We'll eat more roti. And I won't smoke as much weed. And we're going to do this again. I'm looking forward to it. Dude, Thank you so much for coming by.
For sure.
It was fun. It was fun chatting with you.
Yes, sir.
Guys, we'll holla at you soon. Really soon, actually. I'm doing another episode this week probably or next week with Rick. My roommate, Rick. So, we'll holla. Be good. Peace. Wait. I want to play one of your beats. Is that cool?
Sure.
Cool. Awesome. Peace.
About playing in New York is this particular place because it has a stage that is conducive to hyper